I think Trump is probably going to win in November. I could cite some reasons for that. Biden has alienated a huge chunk of his base with his support of Israel's genocidal actions in Palestine, including a very important Muslim voting bloc in the key state of Michigan. Polls show that Trump is ahead in several key swing states. Biden barely won in 2020, and that was amidst the backdrop of the COVID-19 pandemic and Trump's botched response to it. Inflation has skyrocketed under Biden. Biden comes across as old and befuddled in his speeches, and we rarely see him sit down for interviews. Trump is successfully making political hay out of his trial and the convictions that were recently handed down in New York City. Most Americans, I think, view the political establishment of this country as corrupt. Wonder where they got that idea. And the media as complicit in that corruption. Once again, I wonder where they got that idea. And it's very easy for a guy like Donald Trump to just claim to be a victim of that very corruption. And none of these things are why I feel like Trump will win. My reasons are far more based on what I perceive to be the general vibe of the country. I get the sense that most people don't really want a second helping of either of these guys. Now, this is backed up by polling data, but do we really need polling data to see it? I think the organic excitement that once existed around Donald Trump has become faded and perfunctory. The MAGA's hearts really don't feel like they're in it this time, because in their heart of hearts, they know that Trump is a loser. Whatever they might maintain publicly about a stolen election and a rigged political persecution, they know Trump lost in 2020, and they know he just lost in court. His luster is diminished, and he's a shadow of the dynamic force that he once was. If Trump was going up against a real candidate, I think his goose would be cooked, but lucky for him, he's going up against Joe Biden, a guy who is also a shadow of what he once was, but what he once was wasn't even impressive in and of itself. He was basically the token white guy picked by the Obama administration to calm fearful white people who were scared of a potentially radical Obama agenda. How unfounded those fears turned out to be. I feel a fickleness in the air, don't you guys? I feel a sort of like, fuck it, in the wind. And to me, an America that's throwing up its hands in exasperation and just like, fuck this! Fuck it all! Fuck all this shit! That's an America that's gonna vote for Donald J. Trump. How confident am I in this prediction? Not very. The analytical side of my mind tells me that this election is a coin flip. Yes, Trump's doing better in polls, but so was Hillary in 2016. So were the Republicans in the 2022 midterms. Remember the massive impending red wave that conservatives were touting? And that turned out to be a little sad red trickle instead. When abortion has come up on ballots, even in red states like Kansas, voters have showed up to preserve Roe-esque protections, showing us that even a lot of the ostensibly pro-life conservatives out there don't actually vote that way when push comes to shove. It could be that many right-wingers in this country feel a need to claim support for Trump to maintain their social standing in right-wing circles, but won't actually vote for him when the time comes. Because once an American's in that voting booth, and there's no one around to impress or to virtue signal for, who knows what they'll do? Like, I've talked massive shit about Joe Biden and how lesser of two evils voting is a scourge that ratchets this country ever further to the right. But in the privacy of that booth, with no one around to impress, with what a purist I am, maybe I say to myself, fuck Trump. And I suck it up and I press the Biden button. I doubt it, but I don't really know. The moment of choice is always obscured. What people do in the privacy of that booth is always a mystery. There are lots of paths for Trump to lose, but I think he'll probably win. I think the people of this country would rather have his fake orange bravado than the tepid gruel of another Biden term. I think that America's in a rut. I think this country is depressed. And I think in their depression, They would rather watch trash TV than read a ponderous old tome. They would rather eat a fast food cheeseburger than a bowl of unseasoned oatmeal. And that's what Trump is, baby. He's trash TV. He's a fast food cheeseburger. We know he's not good for us, but we're kind of too sad to care. What I think America really wants right now is a guy, and I say guy because I don't think America wants a woman to lead, between the ages of 45 and 55. I don't think they care much about what race he is, but they want him to be like handsome. They want a guy who's kind of fiscally centrist and socially liberal and non-interventionist in terms of foreign policy. A guy who's charismatic and dynamic and strong. But it seems that our political process as it exists right now is incapable of giving that to us. So instead, we're faced with a choice between two flavors of diarrhea. And it's depressing to think of either of these men getting a second term. What I think America actually needs right now is a little different from what it wants. What America needs, in this guy's opinion, is an unapologetically left-wing president who's willing to fight to get money out of politics and to make major reforms to fiscal and social policy. A president who's willing to be tough on the world stage, but chooses their battles wisely. As far as their gender, their race, their age, their appearance, any of that superficial crap goes, that matters to me very little. Our political process is also not putting up anyone like that, okay? Even if they were, I don't think the electorate is smart enough to vote for them, at least not until the last boomer goes to his grave. That's what I think, but hey, tell me what you think in the comments section down below. I very much look forward to hearing it. But if you do disagree with me, tell me why, because nothing is worse than disagreement without explanation. Until then, I'm the amazing atheist. Peace the fuck out.